to our next press conference with Christopher Bell, driver of the number 20 Joe Gibbs Racing Toyota. If you have a question for Christopher, please raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. We'll start with Holly, and then we'll go to Zach.
Hi, Christopher. Holly Kane with the NASCAR Wire Service. Just if you could talk a little bit, I would imagine you come here feeling extremely optimistic considering how the races have gone in the last couple of years here. If you could just talk about that.
Yeah, certainly this is the one that we have circled. We know that this is a great opportunity for us to have a good day, score some points. Our intermediate package has been really good from, Kansas a couple weeks ago, even Bristol, we run the same rules package. So seems like everything's going right for us at Joe Gibbs Racing. Our teammates have been really good. Yeah, we know that this is a big opportunity, and hopefully we can capitalize on it.
Zach Sterniolo, NASCAR.com. Christopher, we talked last week about the runner-ups and why those have been so frustrating. What are the tangible benefits of winning this weekend? What can the number 20 team do behind the scenes if you guys win tomorrow that can't happen if you don't?
Yeah, I mean, this is a big one. Like, this is the race that we've had circled since, since the schedule came out, really. I mean, you make it into the round of 8, and the mentality changes at this point in the season, in the playoffs. The round of 16, round of 12 is kind of, you're just looking for points. It's survival mode. And then whenever you get into the round of 8, it's about wins. And, ultimately you need to win in order to make that Final Four. And if you don't win, then you have to be in that top 5, getting stage points, competing for wins. So it's a lot different. The round of 16, round of 12 are pretty similar, and then the round of 8 it's a different mentality, and it takes a lot more to make the next cut.
All right, we'll go next to Bob and then to Kelly.
Bob Parker, Fox Sports. Last week Denny had the possibility to say, okay, I'm not going to pass Ross to help myself in the sense of I knock Joey out. I think he's a bigger challenge to my championship. Is that manipulation of a race or not?
I mean, it is. But it's a product of the format that we're racing under right now. So it's been happening a lot longer than I think most people realize, and people are just finally starting to talk about it. But yeah, I think everything that happens is a product of the the format that we're racing under.
And after what happened to you last year at Martinsville and all this chatter about did this guy do this or did this person do that, do you study it, or are you like so over it? Are you like, I'm just racing and I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to try to do the best I can.
I honestly haven't really paid too much attention to what's going on. I saw the brief highlights that essentially, Ross was, on the cut line or needed a point, and Denny wasn't aware, and Denny was frustrated that he didn't know the points at the end of the race. And so I've seen the highlights of it, but ultimately I haven't dug deep into everything about it or any of the situations that have come up here, the last whatever year since my deal. What I've learned is, winning cures all, and no matter what the format is, winning races is the best thing to do. So, that's like last year I came into this round with a lot of bonus points, kind of separated from the field, and felt like we were not in a must-win position. And I didn't win, and I didn't make the Final Four. So this year, my mentality is a lot different in the aspect that we need to win a race, and this is probably my best opportunity to win in this round. So we're going to try and make that happen this week.
Go to Kelly next.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Excuse me. Everything you said about Vegas, this is the opportunity. This is the one we've had circled. You don't need to be reminded what's happened here the last 2 fall races. So when you come here, though, I'm curious, what mindset do you come here with? Do you believe that a racetrack can owe you one? Do you feel haunted when you come here? What's the sentiment after what's happened the last 2 years of how good you've been but have come up empty?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel confidence and, you know, positivity, thinking every time you think of Vegas, even though I haven't won here, and I've had a lot of races get away between the 2 Cup races, the last 2, and through the Xfinity years and the Cup or the truck years. I have 0 wins at Las Vegas, but it's always been a really, really strong track for me, and we've performed really well. So, yeah, I would say I'm excited about coming here every time, and you know, I think that one of these days we're going to get rewarded. I don't think that the track owes us one, but certainly driving for Joe Gibbs Racing, I have great cars whenever we come here, and hopefully if I can continue to drive well, I'll pick up a win.
All right, we'll go to Dustin Long next.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Christopher, if this is the race that's circled, and this is the race you've had so much success, but there's so much being put on this, I'm curious, what is different with your process in getting ready for this race? Because you and your team seem to be elevating it based on your words. So I'm guessing you can't do the same thing in preparation that you did last year or the year before, because it didn't turn out to get the victory. So what is different, or what have you done differently because this is the race that's circled?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Dustin, I haven't done anything different. I would say that the stakes are just a little bit higher, and you know, that's going to be the same regardless of. I guess if I win this week, the stakes are significantly lower the next 2. But if I don't win this week, then the stakes are going to continue to rise at Talladega and then at Martinsville. But yeah, I would say that our process, our prep process, and you know, gearing up for the weekend has been the same as it was, you know, at Las Vegas 1 or Iowa or any of the racetracks. So, yeah, I mean, I talk about this being my best opportunity, but I know that you know, yeah, I mean, I have won at Martinsville before, so we'll hopefully take it week by week, and I would love to get one that's gotten away the last couple of years here.
From your seat, what do you need in terms of information on radio about points from about where you're sitting and things like that? How does that help you? What do you feel that you need, and what would it be like if some of that information is restricted or limited to you? How does that impact you?
I mean, it once again, it's race by race, and the way that this format works, you know, race 1, you're not really talking about points, and then race 2, the chatter maybe comes up a little bit, but certainly race 3, that's what it's all about. And you know, I go back to Martinsville, my predicament last year. I think at one point I got told late in the race that I needed a point, but the communication certainly wasn't as clear as I would have liked it to have been. And I remember like crossing the finish line, not knowing what my point situation was, and then you know, Adam said, "Well, I think we're in because we tied," and so forth. So I would have liked a little bit more communication last year at Martinsville. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Most of the drivers are out there, you know, are blind to what's going on unless someone speaks up. And I know that's very sensitive right now with people talking on the radio about it. It's just, I don't know. It kind of feels a little bit gross. Like I would love to just, you know, be able to race and you know, not have to worry about this race manipulation stuff.
I'm sorry, gross. What do you?
Just feeling like you can't talk about something on the radio. Like you would rather not have to worry about, you know, doing that. You just want to go out there and race, and I think that's what all of us want. We just want to go out there and lay it all on the line all the time.
Go to Dustin Albino next, and then across from him here in the middle.
Dustin Albino, J-Ski. Christopher, with the depth in this round, and you mentioned kind of like, you know, you can point your way through the first 2 rounds, but now it's shift to must win. Like, how challenging is it to shift into that mindset?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You know, you shift the mindset to focusing on wins, but in reality, last week at the road course, I obviously wanted to win. It's not like I didn't want to win. I guess the biggest change is the risk versus reward meter, and you know, the round of 8, you're probably a lot more willing to take risks to go for wins than you would be in the round of 12 or the round of 16, because you know that the wins mean more now than what they did in the previous rounds. And I think the last year at Vegas proved that. I left here and I didn't win the race, but by all means, whenever I looked at the points, I thought we were in a really good spot, and it didn't pan out. So the wins mean more in the round of 8 than any other round.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Christopher, Roy Akers, Skyview Sports. Qualifying is always a big thing, getting up there. At Las Vegas, is it extra important that you're really running up front early in the race, or or can you make up speed somewhere on the track during the course of the 400 miles?
Yeah, I mean, Vegas, I would say, is a place that qualifying doesn't really have an impact on who wins the race, but it certainly has an impact on, stage 1 points, and especially if it goes green. And I would say if there's yellow flags in the first stage, then qualifying becomes a lot less important. But the moment that there is no yellow flags, then you have to qualify well in order to get those stage 1 points. So it's something that we definitely focus on.
Okay, let's come over here and then across from him to Tom.
Hi, Christopher. Bob Francis, Go Full Throttle Racing News. Good to see you. The discussion this week about 750 horsepower for some races next year, I noted that some of our mutual friends in the sprint car world said 750, that's cute. Any thoughts on that move of increased horsepower? Is that a significant move? Is that a small step in the right direction? Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited about it, and I'm glad that NASCAR and the team, the engine builders, have taken a step in the right direction. I think it's definitely going to play a role in the races. Especially with the tires, Goodyear has been bringing, a couple years ago we were talking about the road courses, the cars were just locked down. And I can promise you, last week at Charlotte Road Course, those things were anything but locked down. And you give us more horsepower. It's what we had last week. It's gonna be, a big deal. So I think it's definitely a step in the right direction.
We'll take one final question here from Tom.
Thanks. Tom Zaleski on County Today. Good to see you again, sir. How are you staying out of your own head as far as the approach? Obviously winning this race, but with everything else going on around you and trying to keep the noise. How do you tune everything out? Just keep your focus.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I would say it's easier it's easy once you get into the race car, and it's. All of us, all 8 of us, are going to be super nervous tomorrow whenever we walk out to pre-race and do driver intros and do the national anthem, all that stuff. But at least for me, speaking for myself, once you get into that race car, it all goes away, and the only thing that matters is trying to do your job. So yeah, certainly the pressure's on, and you feel it, but I love it. I live for it, and I'd certainly rather be in this position than not be in it. So, yeah, it all goes away whenever you get in the race car, but, outside of the race car, you feel it.
Christopher, thanks so much for your time, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.